I have tried a ton of gaming laptops in the past. This video is about the MSI GS66 Stealth, which is a laptop, by the way, that I saw firsthand at CES in 2020. Can you believe it? I got to travel in 2020 to another part of the world, which was Vegas, and I'm from South Africa, so that's a whole nother thing entirely. But I actually got to have a little bit of hands-on back then, but I haven't used it like I've used it currently over the last couple of months. This is a loan unit. This is going back to MSI, and this video is sponsored by MSI. So I'm not going to be doing like a proper review. I'm going to be going through some of the features which I think are really great, and just on the sly, I think it's a very great notebook, especially if you do more than just gaming on your notebook. And I'll give you my pros and cons, what I think is good and bad, just on a personal note as well. First up, let me just kind of go through all the top end specs with you, stuff that you probably Googled already, but let me just get it out of the way before I focus on the things that I actually like. The unit that they sent me has got an Intel Core i7 10th gen. The GPU is an RTX 2070 Super Max Q. It's got Cooler Boost Trinity Plus Thunderbolt. Great for creators. It's got 99.9 watt hours in its battery capacity, which is technically the most that you can put into a battery for traveling. And the only thing that's probably not stealth about it is the keyboard. It's got a SteelSeries RGB keyboard with each key is individually lit. So you can have like a proper crazy like design that you would normally on a mechanical keyboard that you would have on your desk that's RGB enabled. My unit's got 932 gigs, which is a terabyte of hard drive space, and it's got 32 gigs of built-in RAM. It's got two USB-C ports. One of them is Thunderbolt 3, which is great for content creators like myself, especially if you're live streaming or want to do something a little bit more work intensive. Like I have a AVerMedia like webcam over here that's USB-C that plugs into the motherboard of my streaming machine. I could potentially take that on the road and use it as a high-end webcam for either conferencing or live streaming on the road. This is actually quite rare for a lot of laptops in this particular class, especially PC-driven ones, but they've also included everything that you need in terms of ports. It's got an HDMI output, it's got a headphone jack, which is really nice. It's got like a metal rim, shows a little bit of quality. It's got a full-size Ethernet port, and it's got 3 USB-A ports that you would use for a mouse and keyboard that you want to plug in. And it's got 3 USB-As, so you don't have to live that dongle life. Perhaps the biggest selling point for the Stealth, other than just like the sleek aesthetic, you know, a little bit understated, is the 300 Hertz display. Now this is a panel that just, it's mind-blowing to see on its own. I won't be able to show you what it looks like in this video because you're probably going to be watching this in like max 60 FPS, probably 24 frames a second on a like maybe 60 Hertz monitor, maybe 144 Hertz monitor. You're not going to be able to see what this is able to put out. 300 Hertz is a lot of frames. In fact, there's kind of like a little bit of a hit or miss with this one. Because of the GPU being a 2070, not many games are going to be able to hit that 300 frames a second with a 300 Hertz monitor, which is a bit of a problem. Some of the games that I play, like Overwatch, are going to struggle, but games like maybe Counter-Strike or Dota will really benefit from the 300 Hertz monitor. As a content creator, this is the one that I would probably trade up because you don't necessarily want to have like this huge, flashy, massive, gaming rig that's got like a ton of lights on it. Like you also want to be able to whip this out on an airplane and be able to use it when it's not taking up that much space. This low profile, sleek finish, 300 Hertz monitor really makes a significant difference to people like myself and potentially you. All of these features combined, in my mind, make this laptop perfect for content creators. Look, I know I've said this before, but 300 Hertz is incredible. It's something that you have to see for yourself. And in fact, it's really hard to find 300 Hertz monitors like for gaming in the wild. The setup that I've got over here, this is a 240 Hertz monitor. This is a 144 Hertz monitor. Currently, this notebook has got a better screen, a better panel than the ones that are on my desk, and this fits into my bag. So this is where I think a lot of people that are looking to buy the GS66 Stealth are actually going to benefit. Couple of things. If your game, your main title, supports 300 frames a second with a 2070, you are going to really, really benefit from a 300 Hertz monitor or a 300 Hertz display. if you are playing a little bit more intensive games and you think that this notebook as a gaming notebook is going to take you to the next level, unfortunately it won't, because that's the thing with gaming notebooks. They aren't going to compete with desktops just yet. Get your MSI desktop if you want like the most premium experience. What you are trading off is the ability to take this on the road. And it's hardly a trade-off if you've got 300 frames a second and 300 hertz with you, which if you are playing games like Dota or CS or League of Legends, I mean, you shouldn't be looking anywhere else. And now for a couple of negatives. They're not that big a deal. In fact, the first one is that, like I've mentioned, if you are playing a game that doesn't support 300 hertz or 300 frames a second on a 2070, you're not going to get the full benefit of playing that game with 300 hertz, unfortunately. That said, because of 300 hertz, it will support, really look good at 144 hertz or 240 hertz if your game does support that frame rate. The next thing are the speakers. I know this Dyna Audio thing is really good, but I just feel that like listening with headphones is not, you can't compare using the speakers on the actual notebook when it comes to listening to on headphones. It's a much better experience to listen on with headphones. No notebook out there, especially gaming notebooks, have seemed to have clocked this. The sound is fine, it works, it's great. You can listen to Netflix and play games using the speakers, but I highly recommend putting in a headset. The trackpad is phenomenal, and the keyboard is. So I think you'll be able to play a lot of games potentially with the trackpad and the keyboard built in. Definitely the keyboard built in, maybe a mouse to plug it in if you're playing at FPS, but I'm really, really surprised at how good the trackpad is on this. It's a little bit wider than most other notebooks. It's not square. It's, landscape and platform, nearly 21:9 in a way. And it really is responsive, and it really works as well as a lot of high-end content creator laptops out there. And my last negative, very small thing, I really don't like the positioning of the power cable over here. It's positioned more into the body, but again, it's such a small gripe. Like, it's when I plugged it up, I was like, I'm used to a power adapter either fitting on the back or on the side or the top, but it's nice over here because it can hide away when you're using it. But I don't think most people are actually going to care. That you're probably reading the comments going, Grant, that's really dumb. And you're probably right. The last thing that I really like about the GS66 Stealth is that when you are getting a content creator laptop or a notebook for content creation, the ones that you need are the garish, colorful, blaring, thick, huge fans, noisy, bright colors. They're there to make a statement, and they're great for gaming, right? You want a laptop that is just like a beast. It's a sports car, and you want to show it off. But not necessarily if you're a content creator that is doing this as a profession and needs to present to clients. There's some kind of compromise that you have to make by getting one of those and kind of having to be potentially a little bit apologetic or have everybody on the table acknowledge its existence. This is stealthy. This is the Batman of gaming notebooks, and in a way that I feel proud of bringing this into a meeting and opening it up without it detracting from my work or detracting any attention that the client might be giving me. I want clients to see that I'm professional with what I'm doing, and I also want to be able to play games on it. And bringing this into a meeting makes me feel a little bit like Bruce Wayne. That wraps it up. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think of the GS66 Stealth and what you think of this particular range from MSI. Again, thank you so much to MSI for loaning me this laptop and sponsoring this video. I'd like to hear what you guys think. What are your favorite gaming notebooks, and what are you gaming on? Will your game be supported with that 300 Hz display? Let me know. I'll check you guys in another video.